TorgyTalk. 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 All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, John Torgerson, joined with our co-host, obviously, Jake Wember, and we want to welcome our guest today. You can hear him on ESPN Chicago 1000, and he's the creator and host of the Windy City Breeze, Pat, the designer. What's up, man?
What's happening, my guy?
Thank you for coming, dude. Thank you for coming. Fucking a little late on the air horn.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
Hell yeah, man. For y'all that don't know, Pat and I were apprentices together. That's how we met. It was right when he was starting up Windy City Breeze. So,
I'm glad somebody can confirm that I was an electrician. It must be like,
yeah.
You wasn't out in these blue collar streets. I was like, he was out in the winters, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I'm no one to say that you're an electrician. I was a lousy electrician myself, but that's why I'm a highway maintainer now. I drive trucks.
I get you.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, once again, thanks again. And dude, what a fucking year has this Bears team. This is the first year I'm like covering Bears football, and I think I fucking have a really high blood pressure now. This is insane, dude.
Yeah, it has definitely been all of the ups and downs of, trying to figure out who's gonna steer the ship in the right direction, who's really in charge in the front office, who's really the one that, is Caleb Williams everything that he was sold on. I mean, it's been a lot of ups and downs. A lot of belief in Thomas Brown. Hopefully, he is a bit of an answer. Yeah, fingers crossed that he is an answer. But I mean, this is the life of covering the Bears, man. I mean, I started with Mitch, so it's been ups and downs since then.
I mean, you didn't think it could get worse than Matt Nagy, right? I didn't think that could happen, man. Holy hell, what a ride, dude! Like I said, like that. I'm so glad to see the Bears finally break that tradition of never firing a coach midseason and firing two midseason. And immediately when they fire Shane Waldron, that offense just fucking sparks up and goes. I'm like, okay, obviously that was the problem. We're still losing games. Then you had to give it a couple. Obviously they wanted to give it a couple before jumping to conclusions, which I kind of agreed with at to an extent.
Yeah.
I don't know if they, I don't think he should have been there to begin with in the beginning of the season, but that's just me.
I understand giving him a chance.
Hard Knocks. He did sell me on Hard Knocks. I'm not gonna lie. That haircut and that fucking beard, that wardrobe, man.
The beard had mugs full, dog.
Dude, he got me, man.
No, literally. I mean, it's Matty Eberflus is I've coined it a generational loser, and I'm talking about just on the football field. Like he lost in ways that I've never seen football teams lose in. You know what I mean?
Insane ways.
Not calling a timeout at the end of Detroit, getting the field goal blocked. Tipping a Hail Mary the other direction. All these things where
all of that, and making no changes either.
Yeah,
and making no changes. Yeah, like all of those things where you go eventually something has to change,
which is wild because he's a very good at making halftime adjustments on the defense. You know what I mean? But at the end of the game, he kind of just I don't know what the fuck he does at the end of the game. But leading up to that, I feel like he makes pretty decent halftime adjustments. Like even against Detroit, he's like, it's going to pop in the second half, and
they're a second half
in the second half. So I mean, that's been notorious for Caleb to get it going all year has been second half, which is cool. That's what Flus wanted when he said when he was looking for, when he wanted Caleb, he's like he wants a guy that can finish in the fourth quarter and end of game situations, which is it didn't age really well. That I think Connor Burns posted that today about how what Eberflus was looking for, and it just turns out he can't finish games himself.
No, yeah, 100%. He was something that I think really was holding his team back. I don't know what Thomas Brown is going to be, but it's got to be up. I mean, it's common sense.
You can't get
stuff.
worse than
it's common sense stuff. Timeouts at the end of games, timeout usage at the half. You know what I mean? Being aggressive, like a lot of what Thomas Brown is selling. I want to be a buyer of, but it's got to end in wins, and that's the big question at the end of the day. Is this team going to start finding a way to win?
I mean, they have to win out, right? In order, I personally say fuck the draft picks. I want them to win out for me. I need them to win out.
Yeah,
and they the players. What player is this roster going to stay if we lose out? Who's going to be requesting trades and shit?
That's the thing. You want them to win out so that you can go into the offseason feeling like, okay, maybe we have some stability here. Maybe there's a
a culture
here in
yeah,
Thomas
a new
Brown.
culture.
Maybe there's a culture being built up exactly
Right.
like it. You want answers to that because it feels like you have answers at the quarterback position, which
Yep.
is Bears fans. Nobody on the face of the earth right now probably has ever seen answers at the quarterback position. So I think that winning out would do more for the team than
Absolutely.
going out and getting better draft positioning.
Yeah, I agree completely.
They have the skill for it, which should look attractive for another coach coming in.
Or it looks,
I mean,
terrifying. It depends on which way you look at it. If you win in Chicago, you're a legend. But do you really want to take on that potentially never having another head coaching job in your life, like Matt Eberflus or Matt Nagy? They're never going to coach again in the NFL as a head coach, probably, right?
Matt Nagy may be getting a head coaching job this offseason. We'll see. There's a newfound belief in Matt Nagy, and I'm just like, I don't know why. You know what I mean? Pat Mahomes likes him, but I'm not a big believer in it.
That's what happens when you put yourself on a winning team.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels, what did he get? 3 bites at the apple, and he turned one of them down. You know what I mean? It happens.
Back to the that culture change, though. I mean, something's got to be going right with Thomas Brown, with Keenan Allen making the statement today that was it today or yesterday, where he said that it's either Chicago or back to LA or nothing else. Like he wants to run it back with DJ. I mean, that's good. That's got to be good news, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you hear that you've got a culture that people want to stick around in, that's definitely a good thing. I don't know what else he would say, you know what I mean? Like, I do think that he genuinely likes it when you're in the locker room with those guys. They're always having a good time. They're always enjoying each other's company. It's not a somber locker room. It's not a toxic environment. I think that the team, for the most part, is still together.
Which I love how the media portrayed that locker room to be so fucking toxic. Like how DJ and Caleb hated each other when it was wasn't it DJ hating Shane Waldron or just being frustrated not getting the ball, or just the media spinning it off to make a story? It's like, how do they?
I don't even know if that was the media. I think that was just Twitter.
Yeah, okay.
I think Twitter was just like, oh, look at DJ's face, and I'm like, I don't think y'all see DJ enough. Like, that's just DJ's face,
right? Yeah, he always sits at the end of the bench by himself, doesn't he? Like, that's his thing.
He's got a little heavy RBF, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit stale.
Yeah,
and he's a good dude. When he's smiling, he's happy. Like that. I think that there was like you said, Shane Waldron definitely affected the mood. Yeah, that's probably why he was upset, not understanding the calls, but. That's frustration, and I told Bears fans on the shows, like, we're frustrated, and we don't have to run a route. You think he's not frustrated? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
he's running all the way out. He's sprinting down the field, running a full route to just run back to the huddle to not get the ball again. Like, that's got to be frustrating. I played quarterback, so I didn't have to fucking worry about running back and forth. But I feel the frustration, dude. I feel that frustration, man. That's got to be just fucking, I don't know.
Yeah, just getting your ass kicked day after day.
Yeah.
That's exhausting.
Yeah.
And you got to stop. At some point, you can't blame yourself for all of that, I mean, unless it's you just staying with it. And that's why I feel, I would love to see Caleb Williams stay, but if he keeps getting beat up like he is, if the organization doesn't take, the right step, whatever that is, that's, it's scary. I mean, in a sense, right?
I mean, listen, you're going into back-to-back seasons of having one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. It's something better that you got to do. Does Caleb hold the football too long at times? Absolutely. Yeah. Are there a ton of times though where Braxton Jones just getting launched into him?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, it's Coleman Shelton getting tossed around like a rag doll out there. Yeah, is Larry Borum just staring at the guys he runs past them? 100%. Those are all things that you got to deal with when being the quarterback. But when you're dealing with those situations, you got to get rid of the ball quicker, and I think that's what we've seen him do over the last couple of weeks, where. It's not thinking about the decision. It's just trusting the call, making the play, making the decision, getting the ball out of your hands. That's if we are going to be able to win this upcoming Sunday versus the 49ers, that's what it's going to take.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So these I hear all these rumors all over the media about this head coaching stuff. I agreed with you today when you said you'd give up everything for Kyle Shanahan. I agree with that completely, man. And I don't think he eats dollar store steaks, man. I think
listen, you can't really trust him. He's not a good dude from what I'm hearing, man. You got to be careful with Kyle Shanahan out in San Francisco. I think they need to fire him, man. Just trade him away.
Yeah, I think so too, man. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Get him out of there. Get him out, dude. That would be ideal, man. That would just he's a proven head coach, been to 2 Super Bowls. Like you said, he's a couple missed throws away from having a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah,
with 2 mediocre Jimmy Garoppolo mediocre for sure. I would say.
Yeah, Brock Purdy definitely better than Jimmy G.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
but I don't know if there's any real conversation there. I think that if there is, please, I would give the world to get Kyle Shanahan now. I was joking when I said I would give up the entire draft class, but it's
at this point, dude,
it's that serious on it. You know what I mean? People. I saw people telling me, you're going to give up 2 first-round picks and a future second for Kyle Shanahan. And I'm like, 10-year left tackle. Head coach that can develop a 10-year left tackle.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. When you take pieces that maybe they're not mediocre, maybe you still find a good starting center or whatever it is in the draft, and you put him with a coach that's not good, he's not going to be that good of a starting center. But if you put him with a guy that has a unit in place, that has a system, a culture of development, of going the extra mile, of doing the things it takes to get to a Super Bowl. I think people underestimate how much work you got to put in and be on every single detail to get to a Super Bowl. To win it, you see what kind of details it is. I mean, he's lost 2 of them literally by overthrows by his quarterback in very crucial moments where there's a guy wide open down there and you can win the game. You have to be perfect at the end of the day to win those Super Bowls. And, the team that shows more, I like how Thomas Brown said, it's not perfection, it's excellence. The team that shows more excellence in those final moments is the one that ends up holding up the Lombardi Trophy. So
those goddamn Lions, man. Those Lions this year, that damn resilience and that grit. I think it's gonna be hard. I think it's gonna be Detroit and Buffalo. I think that's gonna be the matchup.
I think
their whole team's
make it this year. Yeah, I think they make it this year still though, but I don't.
Well, they have how many guys they got on IR
to win it?
So they had 13 on IR going into the Packers game last night, and dude, Brian Branch just dropped too. So I live in Detroit, right? Yeah. So I'm a Bears fan, but I got that backboard of okay, the Lions are at least doing good. I can piggyback on that. But so
get the fuck out of here, bro.
13 going into the game, and Brian Branch dropped out, one of the top safeties, and I mean it's looking like they're going to struggle going into the playoffs. But
we'll see, man.
They clinched last night, so they're in.
They got the clinch. There's a culture built up there that Dan Campbell sets. That this team we all joked about them, right? We'll go down and we're gonna have a team that'll bite your kneecaps, and if we stop at the kneecaps, we'll take your ankles. And it's everybody was like, "Oh, look at this idiot!" And then you watch the team, and you're like,
"Damn, yeah."
They can make it happen.
They actually will do that. They will go the extra mile to make sure that they come out of this game with a win. So I think you gotta.
What do you
give Dan Campbell some credit?
What do you think if Matt Eberflus makes that call, a 4th and 1, go for it, end the game?
Hey, listen, the Bears are a weird team, right? And this is what's annoying about this team. This is what's so stupid about them, where I'm just it was just flus. During the game, we were super efficient on 4th down. We're super efficient in the goal line. We're super efficient on the red zone. On offense and defense, we lead. I think we're 5th in the NFL, or 6th in the NFL in takeaways. Every team that has those metrics that's with us is a top playoff team, and we're 4-8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it is one of those things where it's what would happen if Matt Eberflus called that on 4th down at the end of the game? Somebody would fumble.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, some crazy shit.
All game, you could have been 6 for 6.
Yeah,
and it'd have been all right, we just need one more fumble.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Bears fashion. Yeah. Typical.
That was dude, I had the same, I watched your guys' reaction from the watch party on Thanksgiving. And I had the same face. I was like this. I was like, I looked at my stepdad. I'm like, did I just black out and they didn't call timeout? Or they called timeout, right? Like I missed. He's like, no. I'm like, all right. And I was that guy on Thanksgiving, screaming out the door, like, God damn it! How do you lose a game with a timeout in your pocket? What the hell? I was just like, my mom's like, calm down. My wife comes outside. She's like, you okay? I'm like, no, leave me alone.
Rumor has it, Matt Eberflus still hasn't called that timeout.
God. You see how much he's making per day for not working?
Yeah, he's getting a bag. Listen, I don't feel bad for him. You know what I mean?
Fine.
Like, yeah. The only part I feel bad about is like when you meet Flus and like you talk with him. He's a good dude.
Right.
I said this, I think on the radio or 2Cap. And I was like, he genuinely is Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
Like he's giving it his all. He's trying to fix it. He's trying his best. And I think that's why, I mean, we're 3 years into this. And it's why it took the locker room so long to finally break apart with him. Like they can see him putting in the work to get the job done. He's just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
that's the part where it's like that kind of sucks. But then you like see how much he's making. It's like,
he's good, man. Yeah, 20 G's a day.
Cry yourself to sleep as you dab your eyes off with $100 bills.
Yeah. Oh man, Jake, what were you talking about earlier about this trading for coaches?
Oh yeah. Okay. So Pat, you guys were talking on the Windy City Breeze, the trading up for a coach, right? Yeah. Bears have 4 draft picks like before the 3rd round, or something. What do you think? I guess what does that even look like? Do you think the Bears give up like three of those picks to get somebody like Gruden or Belichick? And I mean, do they have enough?
They would have to trade for them, right? Because they're free agent coaches.
No, they're not signed. But I think he's talking about the past,
like Kyle Shanahan or something.
The past, yeah. But I mean the Sean Payton one, I believe it was a 2024 second, a 2025 first. And I think there was another 2nd round pick involved in that. More than likely, you'd be somewhere in that range.
I had no idea that was a thing until today.
Yeah, and listen, you look at the teams that have done it, and for the most part, it's worked out. You know, Sean Payton, the Saints got a 2023 first round pick, the 29th pick overall, and a 2024 second for Sean Payton. And New Orleans sent a 3rd round pick to Denver and Sean Payton. So like it's worked out for him though. You look at Bo Nix and you're like, oh, why is Bo Nix good? Oh, Sean Payton's standing over there. He's an offensive genius. You know, like Bill Belichick in the past. Like I don't think that Kyle Shanahan's getting traded. I keep saying this. It sounds good. It's fun. If the 49ers are that dumb, be the team that goes and gets Andy Reid. Because there's a lot of people who are out on this whole thing that would have been out on Andy Reid. And I remember that when Andy Reid got fired, I was like, I would love Andy Reid as the Bears head coach. And everybody was like, it makes no sense. Why would you want Andy Reid? He doesn't win. He lost in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, we talk about the Super Bowl. We know that, right?
Right. He's not losing. He's not losing on Tuesday on Sunday at noon. You know, it's
and there's this like, well, you didn't get the job done then, so you don't have the ability to ever get it done. And Kyle Shanahan has lost every Super Bowl he's gone to, but he's coached the team well enough to get you to the Super Bowl. He's built Super Bowl caliber culture in those organizations. You don't have that. Right. If your stepping stone to your Super Bowl winning head coach is a head coach that gets you to the Super Bowl, sign me up for that every Sunday for the next 10 years.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, dude. So, like, I mean, Ben Johnson's like the number 1 name I keep hearing for everybody.
Yeah.
But I also just heard yesterday that he came out with like a criteria that like he's not going to be going out after like sought out after interviews. He's going to have people coming out. Like he's only going to take interviews he intends to take the job on. And what was the quote? He said, number 1, he'll be looking for an organizational alignment in particular between the GM and head coach, and then looking for recognition from the organization of things that have gone wrong and willingness to fix them. That just sounds like he will not even consider the Bears if that's
I mean, I think when you hear willingness to fix them, right? That's firing Flus. That's firing Walter. There's a willingness to fix them.
They haven't making changes.
The concern that I did have when I heard it was the plan that you're going to have in place to fix it. We don't do very well with planning things to fix. I mean, we're still here. But, you know, like, listen, Ben Johnson, if he's going to become a head coach, his options are both New York teams, probably, although New York Giants may not fire Dable, but probably both New York teams. The Jets don't fix issues. They're basically the worst Bears. You've got the Giants, who basically were like, we had Eli and that was a great time, and that's what we're going to live off for the next 30 years of our lives. You've got the Raiders, who they may still hold on to Antonio Pierce and say, see what you can do with a good quarterback. But if they don't, like the Raiders, like that's not a great situation to go to outside of Max Crosby over there.
Yeah.
You've got the Jaguars, who I think Trevor Lawrence is the most overhyped quarterback I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got Daniel Jones numbers. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, and we just kind of ignore that and just move past it. Like everybody's just like, nah, Sunshine's good. I'm like, I don't think it is. And then there's the Bears, right? Like there's 5 or 6 jobs that are available, and you kind of look around at them and you're like, well, if this is your criteria, then you're going back to Detroit, because none of these teams have had the answers. More than likely, the answer is you. So
right. Yeah.
When I heard that, I didn't think that it took him out of it. What I did think it meant was, if you want to talk to me, make sure you got your stuff right, because I'm not sitting here having a conversation if you're not serious about getting something done. I'm not flying in to do an interview with the freaking Raiders, and you're like, yeah, we're thinking 6 years down the road, we're going to have this thing together. So I don't think that the Bears are out on it. Realistically, there's only 2 teams that I would say probably are competition ready. And I would say that maybe 3, because to me, I do believe that the Giants are a good quarterback away. And if you're the offensive guru, you can develop a quarterback. You would hope you can develop a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think really just the Bears, the Jaguars, and the Giants are the teams that you kind of look at and go, these pieces are already in place. You're not nearly as far away as everybody else. I can make that work.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the Bears they have the skill. You know, it just kind of comes down to the organization and somebody like willing to make the necessary changes, you know,
and willing to let the coach take his culture. Let the coach, you know, like, isn't that why they wouldn't like hire a guy like Bill Belichick? Because it's like Bill's way or the highway. Like they don't like that type of, you know what I mean? It's like they're holding on to that 1985. You know, they still got PTSD from Ditka. You know what I mean? Like
I'm telling you, dog, I don't know what Mike did. I don't know if like,
seriously, what the fuck, man?
When Mike was a player and like Mike was just like slapping these mugs around. I don't know what happened in that building, but they do not want another Mike Ditka.
Yeah. But at this point, they need something. And what do you think they should go for, like somebody like Ben Johnson, or do you want them go like what do you think about like bringing an old school guy back like John Gruden or Mike Vrabel? Mike Vrabel's the biggest name I keep hearing all over 670 the score.
I like Vrabel. I've heard that Vrabel may be a little too intense for new era football, but I really do enjoy. I think that Mike Vrabel, I mean, let's be real, he's a quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl winning.
He just had Tannehill in his way pretty much, right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he understands what it's like to build a good culture. He understands, you know, some of the ins and outs. He gets a ton of praise, always going back to, you know, that when he was able to outsmart Bill Belichick, something that none of us had ever seen in our lives, and he's doing it to Bill Belichick, and Belichick's just over there fuming because he doesn't have the opportunity to do it. I like Mike Vrabel. I think he'd probably be number 1 on my list. A guy like Ben Johnson, the fact that we're in the conversation with guys like that, I think it shows you the change.
That's huge. Yeah.
The biggest question with Ben Johnson is he going to be able to go out there and actually do it as a head coach? It's easy to do it as an OC. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say easy, but it's when that's your job and that's where you specialize at. It's easy for you to go out there and say, I don't have to worry about none of that stuff going on over there. I got this. We got the offensive line in place. Boom, let's call this play. Oh, it's so good. We can have Penei Sewell throw the football in the first quarter. Like we have everything in place that we can have. You're not going to have that everywhere you go. And you got to make sure that the defense is on point. And you got to make sure special teams is right. And you got to make sure you're calling timeouts on time. And you got to make sure that you're, you know, using the challenge flags in the right way. That's the worst one, though. The challenges were
my god, yeah,
as heck sometimes. But like you have so much more responsibility. And I'll be honest with you, dog. I don't think that we're talking about Thomas Brown enough. when it comes to the accomplishments that he's had. Now, I will say this. You got to see it, right? Go out there and win. You have to win. It did help that when you won your most, you were with Sean McVay. I'm not going to say that doesn't make your situation a little bit easier. But Thomas Brown was the assistant head coach, which I think people think that's basically like, you were my buddy, so I brought you along. No, like, you got to do stuff.
Right.
He was the assistant head coach of a Super Bowl winning team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that means he knows what culture is. He's a part of building that culture.
Right.
And when I talk to people about Thomas Brown, I mean, I've heard from people all over the NFL about Thomas Brown. And even when you hear from the front office people, I almost think that there is a want for the Bears to be successful these last 5 games so that they can go into the offseason and go, you're our guy, but we got to interview everybody, but you're our guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like they want to see him be the head coach of the Chicago Bears moving forward. I said this on the Chicago Bears podcast today on ESPN. Like, I wonder if there's like Ryan Poles just couldn't sell the McCaskies on firing Flus. And he was like, listen, we're going to hire you. You just got to wait. This guy will get himself fired. I promise you.
Yeah.
I watched him lose so many games last year in ways that we never believed in. We'll be firing him by week 12. You'll be the head coach. You'll win everybody over. You'll be good. Just follow the plan. Like, I know it probably didn't happen, but there's a part of me that's like, how was he the other guy?
Right.
How was he the guy behind Shane Waldron?
Right. Yeah. That's.
Yeah, they just play it on the script.
Yeah, for sure.
What makes a better story for the city?
Man, I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you. You finish out 9-8. You beat the Packers in the last game, and you knock them out of the playoffs by beat.
Dude, we said it on. I think we said it on the first episode of these football episodes, and I said, dude, I don't care what happens with the rest of the season. If we beat the Packers just once, I'm
to
cool.
win.
I'm cool.
Take it. Yeah.
At this point right now in the season, if we win if we win at Lambeau Field, like, dude, that would just make me so happy as a Bears fan. I know we need to do more than just beat the Packers. I know we need to go 5-0 right now. Thomas Brown needs to go 5-0. I want him to go 5-0 because it seems like Caleb likes to work with him, right? He said that he likes working with him. They seem to work well together. Whatever's going to develop that guy, dude, he is making elite throws. And we're just seeing sparks of fucking greatness. And he's exciting.
He's trending. He's trending up. I mean, everything that you
never see from a Bears quarterback. Throws that you never saw from Jay Cutler. Throws that you know what I'm saying? Like,
and just smart football too, like spatial awareness and stuff, knowing where the line of scrimmage is. Like, it's I don't know. Some of the stuff I've seen is crazy.
That play to DeAndre Swift, man. That rollout.
Yeah,
scrap.
That's the play.
Where he checked
right in the bucket.
Right.
Yeah, just
that's the play I look at when everybody was like, his game won't translate to the NFL. And I'm like, there you go.
Exact same play in USC, literally the exact same play in USC. It translated to the NFL, like just shutting all the hit. And people are still shit talking him. How many records does he got right now? He's got what? Was it 212 consistent passes without an interception, or is it more than that?
I think he's at 230 something now. When they showed that stat, he was at 212, but I think he's at 2. I got to look it up again. But yeah, he's continuing to break the record and very efficient. He's throwing touchdowns now, 5 touchdowns over the last 2 games. Like,
imagine what we would have done if Thomas Brown was there that whole time.
Man,
where would he be at? Dude, he could easily be coming up on. I mean, he's got to throw for 280 for the next 5 games to get that 4,000 yard mark. It's possible.
Oh yeah.
And that would be another perfect ending to my season right there, dude. If he can get us that 4,000 yard season, man.
I'm gonna say this, and I said this before the season started, and I did want to see him and see what he looked like. But after his first year, if he breaks the 4,000 yard drought that the Bears have never had, continues looking like he's looking right now, he's the best quarterback in Chicago Bears history.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
His rookie season, which, listen, not a high
insane.
bar.
It's not a high bar.
You know what I mean? It's not like we're telling you like he's jumping over the Empire State Building. Like,
yeah.
And you basically were like, what did he do at quarterback? He looked competent. Oh, man. We haven't seen that before. Like, he's the best quarterback in Chicago Bears history. He breaks that 4,000 yard mark. Probably on pace right now for
Like what, 3,800?
4 touchdowns, something like that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I think he's on pace for 3,800 yards. And they keep extrapolating out like the interceptions. It's supposed to be like 25 and 12 or something.
My guy's going. I don't
know when he's going to throw 12 touchdowns.
He's not throwing 5 more.
12 interceptions. I mean,
watch him go. Watch him go. No more interceptions the rest of the year. How crazy would that be? Then if anybody ain't sold on him, then come on now. I mean, it's not. I mean, the likeliness of that happening, I know is very low, but dude,
yeah, he's throwing some dangerous balls out.
Yeah, he is, especially last week.
He's thrown somewhere it's like, I don't really know how you're not getting picked off there. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the football gods giving us a little bit of something. You know what I'm saying? They're like, all right,
got to give us something. They ain't giving us wins.
Yeah, for real. What do you think happens this week, man? You think we get the dub? I mean, with how banged up San Francisco is, I mean, them having, I don't even know their running backs' names. That's got to be good for our run defense, which has been shit the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you lose.
No Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason
is down as well. Jordan Mason, I'm sorry, is down as well. Jordan Morgan is a left tackle. Jordan Mason is down as well. Like I think that it is advantage Bears. I just saw the injury report a few minutes ago, and it looks like DJ Moore's questionable. DeAndre Swift is questionable.
Yeah,
neither of those guys practiced this week, really. They practiced limited today. Today's a walkthrough day, so I don't know how much you can put stock into that. But I still think that this is a advantage Bears kind of game. And listen, when a new coach comes in and everybody likes you, you get a boost. And I think two things are going to give the Bears a boost. Number one, offensively, Caleb now has a guy that he's comfortable with calling all of the shots and that they trust to call plays in the right moments, and somebody who was a former player has a feel for the game. I think the other side of that is, though, you've got Eric Washington now calling the defense, and for the love of God, at least I know he will blitz. Remember Kyler Gordon blitzing in the in the Bengals game versus the backup quarterback, and he takes his head off in preseason. Like Eric Washington's going to call a more aggressive style of defense. And
that was the last time he called plays, right?
That was the last time that we saw him call plays. He called plays in the preseason, hasn't called plays this season. I don't think he did much play calling in Buffalo because you got McDermott over there already who's calling the defensive shots. But I mean, look, like you've got good coaches still in place here. And I think that was always the thing. It was like, I get we got these guys, but like these guys are good. Why aren't we utilizing them? And now, you see Thomas Brown, you'll see Eric Washington. I think that will give this defense a boost and the offense a boost. And this is a game I actually got 24-17 Bears win because I think that the defense still isn't giving up points really.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't think much has changed there with the lack of running game and stuff like that. With more pressure on Brock Purdy that I expect to come, I think this Bears team ends up getting the win, and hopefully that brings everybody back together in a real kumbaya fashion.
We need a win, man. You know how that's going to feel. I mean, I can already picture it. I knew it wasn't going to happen on Thanksgiving because I knew that something was just something. I had a feeling I told my stepdad, he's like, they could win. I'm like, don't hold your breath. I'm like, don't hold your breath. They could get a blocked field goal or a fucking Hail Mary. Who knows what the hell is going to happen? So we need this. And God, I pray that Thomas Brown can bring this Bears team to I want to be Jameis Winston right now and just deliver this Bears team a dub. Please.
Deliver this Bears team from Boston. Please.
For real, man. Oh,
deliver them from that losing streak.
Seriously, man. One quick question before we go, man. So my wife actually wanted me to ask this. I thought it was a great question. Who do you think Chicago fans hate more right now? Cody Parkey or Matt Eberflus? I say Matt Eberflus because
I disagree.
I say because Cody. I don't think the Bears go. I don't think they go to the Super Bowl that year. I don't think they win it if they get there anyway.
Do you remember?
Maybe do they? I don't know.
Do you remember that run? There was a lot of bad football after that.
Yeah,
there was a lot of bad football after that. I think it's Cody Parkey by a landslide.
Do you think so?
I just remember watching that Super Bowl. Wasn't that because that's Tampa in the Super Bowl, right? No, 2020. I don't. Who won that one? It was a very low. Oh, was it Patriots? It was Patriots though. It was Tom Brady. It was a very low scoring Super Bowl. I want to say it ended like 13-9.
Yeah, it was that was Rams. That was Rams Patriots.
Rams Patriots. Yes,
yeah.
And you sat there. I thought that wasn't that year.
I thought that year was the.
Let me see. We got technology.
Shit.
Yeah,
because I can't remember.
I thought it was the year the Eagles went. I thought it was
20
Foles' year.
21.
2018,
and the
right?
score was 9-31. Is that
2018, 2019. That wasn't that Nick Foles?
It wasn't that one. 2018 Super Bowl.
No way.
Or 2019.
It was 2019.
It wasn't that one. So it was 2019.
Patriots Rams 13-3.
There it is. 13-3.
And we beat the Rams that year too.
And
I was at that game.
Was terrible. And I just remember watching that game. Yeah, he was 21 for 35, 262 yards and an interception. His only touchdown is Sony Michel in that game. I remember watching that just going, we could have been in this game and won this game. And like all the NFC games leading up to that were just like mediocre. And I'm just like, no, it's Cody Parkey by a landslide to me.
Yeah, you're right. I remember how pissed off I was.
Flus is going to be remembered longer. But as Bears fans, you can't tell me when somebody misses a field goal, you don't remember. When somebody hits the crossbar or hits, twice. And you hear that
so many times,
and you're just like, it's like PTSD. Okay,
Well, shit, dude. I know, like I said, this is the last second of this. Dude, I appreciate you so much coming on. This is the most abrupt way to fucking end this. I'm sorry, this is less than a minute. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it. Glad to have you on again. I appreciate it again, dude. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Go listen to Windy City Breeze. Follow Pat the Designer on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Thank you again. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, cool to talk to you, dude.
This will come out on Saturday, right before the game. So, or obviously the day before the game, whatever. You know what I'm saying. All right, guys. Hell yeah, man. All right, we'll see you.
All right, see ya.
Later.